Let's rock and roll, boys.
Hello, welcome to another Nintendo podcast. I'm your host today, Matt Schultz, and I'm joined by Andrew Watson.
How's it going, everybody?
And the one and only Austin Cummings.
Oh, hello. Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom. How's it going? How's she doing?
Thanks for listening again. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Really going the distance on that.
Let's give a hi to all the parents. Thanks, parents.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Thanks. You got us to where we are today, and we know we're not going any further than this, but we appreciate you taking us this far.
Please have your mom tell her friends.
Ask your mom to tell her friends before going.
For today's episode, first of all, I can see you all today. This is nice. See your face. And we're gonna go ahead and talk about just kind of a different style, different format. We all brought either a story or some sort of rumor that we wanted to share today.
The dream.
Yeah, the dream. And we're gonna talk about it. We're each gonna get a chance to kind of chime in and just kind of run with those stories. But before we do, what have you all been playing as we start out every podcast?
Well, you know what? What I've been playing is a little this, a little that. Now it's been a little busy work-wise. It's also been just very hot up here in the Pacific Northwest. Andrew can attest.
Sweating all the time.
Just constant drip feed of sweat because it's been smoky, it's been hot, and so really the Switch has been nice because in my home the gaming area does not have air conditioning, so we're really limited to the Switch because you can take it into areas where you can get a little reprieve from the heat and a little reprieve from daily life and hop into a good game. So I've been playing some Dead Cells on Switch.
What's that game?
I played. And I'm almost at the very end of Tropical Freeze, which I did finish on the Wii U, but now playing it again on the Switch. But I'm trying to check just a few games off because we're rapidly approaching, boys, the fall, and there's a lot of big games coming out, not necessarily exclusively for Nintendo. So I'm trying to kind of check through a few. So I played a little Donkey Kong, and I'm working my way through Dead Cells currently.
Very good.
Nice, Andrew. What about you?
I am also actually playing Dead Cells. Started last night, actually, so not very much. But
how many times you die?
Like 5.
Now, be honest
like 5
about
times so far.
You know, it takes a big man to admit that. Now, I myself
it takes
never
a big man
died.
to admit I am that big man.
Very good. The biggest man. That's what we call you, Andy Big Man.
That's
hey,
me.
It's Andy Watson, Big Man. Eh?
No, it's it's really fun. My friend bought it for me because I'm gonna be house sitting for him soon, and yeah, I've had a blast with it so far.
That's a generous gift.
Yes.
Matt, have you checked that out? Are you going to check out
Dead Cells? I've been looking at reviews.
You only got to see 2 reviews to get one opinion twice.
And yeah, so I actually was just looking at it on the store yesterday, along with a few others. Like, I still need to get Hollow Knight. Still want to play Hollow Knight, and I know
so great.
Like a lot of these games have some similarities, right? This one is like procedurally generated, like, right? Are there a lot of games like that out right now?
Yeah, there are a lot of roguelikes. On the Switch, I was playing, let's see, like Flint Hook, Binding of Isaac, Enter the Gungeon, which is very good, Wizard of Legend. Those are all big games, particularly Wizard of Legend, and Binding on the Switch that each have that roguelike procedurally generated element to it. But I think what Dead Cells does really well is it feels like a Castlevania game that you would play on DS, right, where though it is randomly put together, the game is broken up into these small compartments. So you work your way through one area, and then depending on what skills you have, you can either get into a new, more challenging area, or you can take a side path, or you go on the main line. But each one is just short enough and compact enough that it feels like its own personalized area without being like this super expansive, like hallways to nowhere. They still feel like they're moving you on a track. And so it manages to, between that and the enemy encounters and how fluid the combat is, it doesn't feel as if it's as random as it is. So it makes for like a fun trial again and again while still feeling like it has an element of feeling handcrafted, even though, you know, the exact tile set combination is not.
So this is an interesting question because, like any other average Nintendo fan out there, you know, work's got me pretty bogged down, and I'm in between games, and so that's what I was doing yesterday. Was like it's like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm just barely getting back from work related stuff. I work in higher ed, working with students all the time, so it's late hours.
Very noble.
Very noble. Yes.
They're the future, I always say.
And we, so I get back, and I'm like, I don't want to go to bed yet, but so I'll just scroll through the eShop, and I was trying to think about, okay, I want to get one game. Andrew, Austin, I've got Dead Cells, I've got Hollow Knight. Which would you choose? You get one option. And now I know you've only played Dead Cells for a couple hours, so
Andy's not started Hollow Knight, but
I do have
it,
both.
correct?
Yes, so I can give you an opinion later, but not right now, unfortunately.
Andy's update coming next week. The old Andy's update corner will hit that segment like we always do.
A little bit late.
I put 45 hours into Hollow Knight, and I really adored it. So now, as far as something that you can play like in a quick burst, Dead Cells is better for that. But if you want to sink your teeth into a game, I would go for Hollow Knight. I think it'll come away as being my preference of the two. It feels more like a Metroid, like a maybe your Zero Mission or the just 2D adventures of old. But it's nice and challenging. It has like kind of this beautiful melancholy story and art style. I would go for Hollow Knight.
All right. Okay. I already got earlier before the show, we were talking about Apple and iPad. I'm about to get an iPad, courtesy of your recommendation. So, all right. That's kind of what we've all been playing. I'll keep you all posted next week on my progress in one of those two games.
Which will they choose? Yeah, a lot of good stuff. I also picked up Okami. I did love Okami back on. I actually played it on the Wii.
Such a great game.
Yes, great. Yeah, great year. I played it on the Wii. That was the iteration I mainly played. I played a little bit on PS2, and the Wii had the fun like using the pointer controls to use the celestial brush, which is a big component of that game. And then this one has the touchscreen controls, which are really the best fit for it when you're playing in handheld. So I'd love to pick it up before. Have either of you ever played Okami?
Yeah, I played through it on the GameCube.
I think I watched.
Well, it wasn't out on the GameCube per se.
Wait, was
so
it?
You could play
it was
Odama
the Wii.
on the GameCube.
I'm sorry.
On the Wii
That's
version,
right.
yeah. It had like the good IGN watermark on the
That's
cover.
what it was. That's right. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I really liked. I really do love that game. I think it is better than Twilight Princess. It infamously beat out Twilight Princess for IGN's Game of the Year. It came out, but I think back in 2006, I suppose. But in any event, it's so long. That's like the one thing. It's like I picked it up because I'm like, I would love to play it again. It's beautiful. But the few times that I have revisited it, even a little on the Wii, or like it came out PS3 and then also on PS4, it's just very chatty. It's definitely of the era where it's like as much tutorializing as possible is like that's preferable because we don't want people getting lost. Twilight Princess falls into the same issue where like the opening farm in Twilight Princess is like you're there for it feels like a long time. You're fishing, you're finding cradles that monkeys have got. You're like talking to an owl. You got the cat. You got there's the rams. You got to herd. So it feels like a lot. And the same thing kind of goes for Okami. You have the little Isun who just kind of like Navi, who's just chatting the entire way through. And then, and so that's like, even though I did pick it up, I look forward to playing it again. But I'm not sure I'm ready to dive back in because not too long we're going to have Spider-Man on PS4, Red Dead Redemption this fall. I'm looking forward to Dragon Quest XI. There's just a lot of things that are going to start flying into and out of the shelves come September.
Right.
Actually, what's everybody's most anticipated? We want to do this really fast because it's always fun conversation.
Most anticipated game in the fall?
Choose three. Choose three for the fall. Of all consoles.
Of all consoles, okay. You're gonna catch me off guard because I actually don't know some of the release dates for some of the games I'm looking forward to on Xbox and PS4. But
I'll allow it.
For Nintendo, I'm actually really looking forward to Mario Party. Just straight up Mario Party Switch. I loved Mario Party as a kid, and I really am anticipating like a kind of like a return to form for this game. Now, is that really going to happen? Maybe not. But I'm really excited about that. So looking forward to see what that looks like. Obviously, Smash, huge game. Not so much Pokemon for me. What's that? What's the pirate game that Xbox? Or no? Is it? Was it PS4?
One? That. Is it the one that's going to be Skull and Bones, which is like
it's Skull and Bones
in the vein of Assassin's Creed 4? Yeah, that does look good.
Well, speaking Assassin's Creed,
I think that's been pushed. I think that now does come out in 2019.
Okay, yeah.
And so us Sea of Thieves fan, of which Andrew and I are,
Yes.
they breathed a sigh of relief for the lack of competition. Because Sea of Thieves is a lovely time out in the sea. There's not a lot to do, but you make your own fun.
Right.
Pirates make their own adventure.
That's
And Andy, what are your top 3 games
of the year.
that you're looking forward to?
Right.
Yes.
Smash, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have to all be Nintendo? Did we already go over this?
Nope.
Oh, cool.
Nope. I mean, we chatted about this, but
may not have
we
been
don't
listening.
know if you were on your phone, but we did see, Go ahead.
We can't tell because Andrew's video is completely frozen on my end.
It is.
Oh, on my end, listen. I'm seeing commit that texting sin. I know that boy. He's either or he's studying and working on some notes. Who's to say? Okay, Andy, top three most anticipated
Spider-Man.
games. And then, the rest of
I'm
the
excited for Spider-Man, big time, and
Spidey.
Red Dead Redemption as well.
Okay, nice. I'm gonna go for mine. Smash number 1. Dragon Quest 11. Very excited for, and Spidey. Yeah, but Red Dead, looks so good. You guys watch the trailer? You watched that gameplay trailer?
The horses, they look so
awesome.
real.
So
it looks so
Spidey,
good.
Smash, and Red Dead were for you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
hard to beat.
Is my mic not working either? Is
No,
stuff-
we hear you.
You're good.
Okay.
You're good.
Let's just hope it's
Yeah, we can hear
recording.
you, but we can see it too. You're good.
All right, so any corrections you need to make from our last podcast? I don't think so.
No,
no.
absolutely nobody watched. There's no way. There's absolutely
And
no.
what about
nobody
our
know.
favorite fan check-in, King D? How you doing?
King D? Where are you,
where was
buddy? We need you
Where's
back.
our
Okay.
full
Once upon a
summary
time,
of
we
our
got
last
real long
podcast?
posts.
I enjoy those.
Yes, he was our team historian. He was like chronicling everything we had talked about. Now with King D gone, there is no good way to summarize what is a far too long podcast. You'd have to listen to the whole thing to know what's
Not
in
today,
it.
though. Today we're getting out early. It's happening. So why don't we just jump right into our topic now, yeah? Well, we all brought some story or some sort of rumor to the podcast today, and we're gonna chat about what those are and, I don't know, talk about it. I think
we're just gonna riff on it.
I'll go first, right? Oh,
Okay.
Andrew's video's coming back, maybe?
I just
There
That's right.
he is.
fixed
If
it.
you're watching us on
Don't worry about it.
YouTube, then you're loving this now.
Ooh, that was good.
Right.
All right, so my rumor, what I want to bring, is a recent 4chan post from Anonymous, obviously, on Nintendo Direct leak. Specifically, leaks coming up or the Nintendo Direct's coming up between now and the end of the year. So this user, who I guess has posted some things correct in the past, specifically with the new Smash Bros. Characters that have been announced. These are their predictions. Specifically, they said that there's going to be a Direct this month, and this month's Direct is supposed to be a Nindies Direct here in August. Then claims a September Direct will occur, specifically highlighting the Nintendo Online rollout plan and kind of, dazzling us with things that haven't been mentioned yet, which should be interesting because I don't know what more they can do besides show what do we not know that's already not on the website.
For sure.
And then they get into November Direct, the big, meaty, hulking November Direct. And they kind of go into detail about what it's going to entail. And they also do, I should say, mention a 3DS mini Direct in October, which is interesting.
Generous.
Tons of 3DSs out there still living.
Yeah, for sure. Touching is good.
So, straight away says there's a new Smash Bros. Trailer to start out. And the Chorus Kids from Rhythm Heaven show up. Which, I don't know. I guess it's something a character people want, but we'll talk about that more. Then they're going to announce the Amiibo Wave 1 and 2 and what those look like. One including
Here we go again, boys.
Inkling, Ridley, and Wolf. And then 2 being Snake, Daisy, Chrom, and Pichu.
Oh, God. My wallet.
Pichu. Oh, man. That's going to be a popular one. Wave 1 will launch on launch day, and 2 will launch in February of 2019. Then Pokemon Let's Go will get a new trailer and a bit more news. Obviously, Pokemon Let's Go will be coming out weeks after this direct, so it makes sense. A lot of big push for that, so a big chunk of this direct will be dedicated to that. Then there's a Chibi Robo plug or it's called Chibi Robo Plugged. For 2019.
I like that.
Is it a phone mobile game? Maybe?
What do we know anything about?
Sounds like a mobile game.
He just lists it. It could be a mobile game. Does not say.
Cool.
But I doubt it would be. I don't think they would announce a mobile game in a meaty Nintendo Direct like this, right? They haven't done that before, have they?
I don't think they've done within a Direct now.
So next,
because Mario Run was at the Apple event.
That's true.
And otherwise, like they've been all little their own directs for like Animal Crossing and whatnot.
If there's any sort of Chibi Robo thing, I hope they super hype it up. And then it's Chibi Robo.
I hope they run with it, and I hope they're totally straight about it, and I hope they really try to sell us that they have a genuine hope that the game is going to sell. Because listen, nobody really loves that Chibi. He's not had any good games. The original one, you know what? There's like some affection for it back on the G Cube, but really, Chibi Robo Ziplash and 3DS. Not one person do I know that played that. And then there was like a Walmart exclusive DS game. Ain't nobody played that thing over either. So it's like he got an amiibo, which is cool. But yeah, there is not a lot of love for that character. That's an interesting list, Matt. I definitely can see it. I definitely imagine at the very least that'll be the cadence of directs. We'll see that many in the next few months, kind of rolled out in that order. So I definitely buy that. I think the first thing that's interesting to me that you describe is the focus on the online, because it is coming up soon. We didn't talk about this in a recent pod, but there were Nintendo did make some new announcements, or they kind of reissued announcements, I suppose, about how the online service is going to work, and like the beginnings of I think you could maybe order some of the subscription cards and things like that.
Yeah, I got mine on Amazon.
Nice. It is interesting to me only because I feel like even though like they tweeted actually even I think today on Nintendo's Twitter like a little visual that kind of breaks down into boxes each component of the online, and it still is just not really as fleshed out as I think what people really want to see is I want to see how it works like the UI. I want to see if the virtual console stuff is really like in its own menu or space, or how things are really added to it, and how frequently, and how the online is going to work. Is that just like is it a mode within the games as if it were how the games were originally released? Many of these games in the 80s, since right now it's just NES games that are getting multiplayer, or are you going to boot up into a different type of menu? I'm curious. I feel like their last announcement of it sounded a little more promising. They're like, the ever-growing library. It sounded more like, okay, games are going to be added to the service. It's not going to be the game is there. As originally they talked about, like, it was going to be 2 games and they'd be there for 30 days. And it was going to be like Dr. Mario and Excite Bike, and like that's it. At least it sounds like it's robust enough. It reminds me a little bit of the 3DS Ambassador stuff back in the day. In terms of like, here's a set of games they've curated as being like important games to play. But it would be, I think it would go
or
a long
if you
way
were
if
a
they
sucker who
showed-
bought a 3DS on day one and lost
like $250 or whatever, and then like 5 months later it was $100.
Isn't that us?
Hey, but that little
that
is
was
all
us.
that's all of
suckers.
us. We all have that little icon on our
Wings.
3DS. No one's taking
We
it
had
away
to play
from us.
Steel Diver. We had to play or Street Fighter 4 Arcade. Or Super Street Fighter 4, I think was the edition. Actually, can we talk about that really fast? That Ambassador logo, which is precious to me as my icon on the 3DS. It takes up like a curious number of blocks. I don't know if either of you ever noticed that.
No.
But it's very strange. It's like a very low resolution JPEG that doesn't animate at all. It has like a scrolling ticker tape. I think for some of it, it's like the program has now ended. And, but I like that. Yeah, that's like such a great little piece of history. I want to see that type of thing for the Switch. Only it would be nice to see the screen, or if there's going to be themes, or really roll out the details, because we're so close now to it. I'm surprised we've not had a better, more concrete example of what this stuff looks like. They're still playing very coy, and there's no big game that comes out in September alongside
to really kind of there. And I do think maybe they'll announce some like DLC for, I don't know, Mario Kart or Splatoon or some sort of online, maybe Aces, something to be like, and here you go, go play online.
Here's a reason.
I would be interested to see how, like, it would be cool if it did launch with a updated, like Nintendo Switch 5.0 or 6.0, whatever it's at, user interface.
It's like it's 6 right now. Yeah, agreed. It'd be cool. There's so many things people have been clamoring for, mainly the themes. The eShop is such a mess.
Give us some themes.
Yeah,
the eShop.
The eShop is so bad. It's the Wild West where it's like you need that Nintendo Seal quality, which everyone kind of bemoaned and
are we
mocked
gonna
back
get
in
the
80s and stuff,
reviews? Like, didn't they test that for a second?
Yes, it went up on the website where you could review the eShop games, and they took that feature down right quick. And I think it's just they didn't. I think they don't want, I guess, to have poor reviews for things they put out. Like, would people, is that the reason why they do it? Is it because they worry that their own properties are going to get bad reviews or what?
Can't you just like let people rank by like stars, or moons?
No, that's certainly what you do. Like out of 5, it's like on the iTunes store, it's less even about necessarily what the average review is. It's just how many people have reviewed it. Same thing kind of goes for Yelp. Like, you want to see a quantity of reviews that show people were interested enough in it, and then a star ranking that tip you'd hope is more than 3 or what have you. But in any event, it would be nice because it's such just a wasteland of trash. There's so many bad like iOS ports now. Like, nothing is discoverable. The featured stuff feels like it remains the same. Right. The great deals just go like on, and there are so many games you've never heard of. And
the best sellers just never change all that much. You're just like, 10 of these games have been in here since the launch of the Switch. Yeah. So
Snake
Stardew
Pass.
Valley, Rocket League. Yeah.
The list though of predictions for this event are not done. So after Chibi Robo, Reggie will announce an SNES Remix is launching on Nintendo Switch and available on December 4th.
Very specific.
Can you see an SNES Remix? I can see those games on the Switch.
Yeah, I'm surprised the NES Remix hasn't come over, but that would also strike me as an obvious.
And then they go into Diablo 3, will be confirmed for Switch in 2019. Damon X Machina, the tech or mech game we saw at E3, that very first game, will be launching early 2019, January 25th to be exact, according to this. Travis Strikes Again will be launching November 30th. That's a weird date to throw out there, though. Like, hey, it'll be launching literally 11 months from now, or 12 months. Bayonetta
in 2019, or don't we think that'll come out this year?
Let's see. When is this? Oh no, you're right. Yeah, November 30th of this year. So maybe a week later.
But we could use some information on that game too, because it's been a while. And I loved No More Heroes. I don't know if either of you played it on the Wii, but
I did play No More Heroes on the Wii. Yeah.
Oh, loved it.
All right. So rolling this out or finishing this whole list, we've got
rolling it out, putting it good,
burning it up, throwing it away. Bayonetta 3 finally gets footage with a release date of summer of 2019. Yoshi Flipside, official name, official unofficial name.
Flipside confirmed.
Gameplay trailer launching this April, 2019. Then Wonderful 101 will get a port.
That'd be good.
I think I have that on my Wii U.
Now, so did I, and I actually really liked it. Do you think it'd get a much bigger audience on the Switch than?
I think it would, and Platinum Games, who we were just talking about, they the developer came from Okami and whatnot. The Clover Studios who had made Beautiful Joe and Okami, went on to become Platinum Games. They had Mad World, good game on the Wii, Bayonetta, Vanquish, and Wonderful 101 is another Platinum Games joint. And they also helped work on the critically loved and often revered on this podcast, Star Fox Zero, and they're responsible for that too. And it would be, I could see it happening. That'd be a tough game to play not in handheld mode.
Right.
But so far most games have made do, like Captain Toad now on the Switch. You can use the Joy-Con as a pointer control, even though it's not perfect. Handheld's the way to go. Same thing goes for Okami on the Switch. You can still play it with the motion control. The downside to that on the Switch is there's just the gyro. There's no IR like for the Wii. So it's not quite as accurate. But I could see that happening. Honestly, at this point, it's like almost harder to guess what games from the Wii U won't be on the Switch.
Speaking of which, here are the final 5. New Super Mario Brothers collection
I've heard
for the Switch. This has been a rumor that's been stirring. I think it's inevitable. I'm surprised we don't have any sort of 2D Mario at all.
Yeah.
Though we will be getting one with the launch of the online.
Right, true.
Okay, so rounding it off though, Isabelle confirmed Echo character. I think that'd be pretty fantastic.
We'll talk about that in mind too.
It says we got Fire Emblem 3 Houses. We'll get an official gameplay trailer May of 2019. Star Fox for Switch and Animal Crossing will both get a logo and a 2019 release year, but that's it. Finally, Pikmin 4 will be fully announced and revealed.
Oh, yeah.
Releasing early 2019, which just makes so much sense. And then finally, the last 2 things, it'll end with a trailer, an actual short trailer of Metroid Prime 4. Oh. Then finally capping off with a Rayman reveal in Super Smash Brothers. So, filled with a bunch of stuff. My biggest takeaway from this is, despite maybe 80% of it being false, is that I think Nintendo is really gearing up for a big 2019 in a way that their 2017 hit hard, and I think they need it. And they've got just the right amount of titles that are in the hopper to make this happen.
Right. Love a good park hopper. I think that's a good read on it. I think 2018 has been pretty, even though there's been a lot of great games that have not been Nintendo games to play. Hollow Knight, Dead Cells, the games we talked about. There's been a lot of Wii U games, and I think they would benefit from hitting another year a little hard, or also their stock is soft right now as well. I think they would benefit from some of these games like Metroid and Bayonetta 3, things you mentioned, Yoshi, Fire Emblem, big Nintendo IP that appears on the Switch. I think would be in their benefit, because this year we're really just looking at Smash, Mario Party, and Pokemon, which I'm sure will sell gangbusters. But those all come out the very, very end of the year, and really just Pokemon and Smash are the big sellers there. So they could use a stronger year next year. I would say the things that are most interesting to me, Matt, about kind of those rumors would be, I would be interested in having a kind of an indie direct soon. That's interesting to me. We always enjoy those kind of that format, especially as we move into the fall. There are a lot of indie games coming out. I think the The Messenger comes out later this month. That one was in the last direct.
Maybe some news on Wargroove, maybe, if I'm lucky.
Wargroove. So I think that I definitely buy. And I like the idea of getting a Super NES remix game, because the NES remix was really awesome. It can't be that tough to put these games together. It's they did the same thing with the NES remix, where it came out of nowhere. It landed, I think it was wintertime, and it was just they announced it and it was out almost immediately, and everyone's oh, look at this fun little collection of throwbacks, and just another thing to play on the Wii U. And they could use that kind of little boost, I think, also for the Switch, just in terms of what's kind of a bit of a meager fall lineup until you hit the very end of the year.
Andrew, why don't you give us your rundown? What's your rumor or story from this week?
As we know, Diablo III is coming to the Switch, which is pretty exciting, because I've been a big fan of that game, ever since it launched on PC.
You love the dark arts. You love that satanic stuff.
I'd be putting Slytherin for sure.
Right,
unfortunately,
a grade A bad boy. Matt, what would you be? What would that chatty hat tell you to go to?
Probably Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuff. It also takes a big man to admit to that. Very good. Well, I'll be Gryffindor. It's not.
Whatever, man.
But some good people come out of it.
You nerd.
Okay, continue.
So. It's coming to the Switch, and they brought some cosmetics and some other exclusive stuff for the console, like a Ganondorf cosmetic armor set, which is pretty sweet.
It is sweet.
They've got a portrait frame, which is for your character. It's not really important. And then a chicken pet, which is pretty cool.
That's good. Is it
It's
like a
Yeah.
a
classic
from Zelda?
Zelda chicken. You got it.
Very good.
And then there's also like a little wing effect thing from Majora's Mask.
Interesting.
But there'll also be like, so when they did this for PlayStation, they had a Last of Us level where, you know, all the enemies were like fungus zombies or whatever from that game. And I think they're doing the same thing in this. I'm not sure what they're going to do, but it'll probably be like a Zelda-esque dungeon that you crawl through. It'll be, you know.
Yeah. That's a good idea. That's a really great idea. Yeah, I'm excited about this. Did either of you play, or I guess Matt, because I know he said he did. Did you play Diablo 3?
No, I have not.
I have not. I have not played it either. Not a PC guy, but I know it had really great ports. And in the book, The Blood, Sweat, and Pixels by Jason Schreier of Kotaku, they talk about the process of bringing it to consoles and all kind of the Blizzard's done a great job. Same thing as for Overwatch, of really adapting strong PC games into really excellent console ports. And some details emerged on this Diablo announcement, which was leaked by Forbes on Wednesday. And since we've been getting a little piece of information, one of which is it's all going to run at 60 frames per second, which is very
surprising,
awesome.
to be honest.
All right.
Totally surprising. I think the resolution is like the 740 handheld, or 720 handheld, maybe less than 1080 when docked, but even still, that would be awesome. And similarly, we didn't talk about this, but Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, the demo just came out on the eShop, right? Yeah. And people are excited about that. But, you know, Andrew and I played a fair amount of Monster Hunter World on PS4, had a good time with that. But I gotta say there's something that appeals, not that I'm gonna pick it up right now, or plan to, about playing Monster Hunter in an area where you could play local co-op. Because Andrew and I have had a few times recently where we've been with a buddy and we're all kind of just playing Mario Kart, kind of our classic, you know, mainstay. But in order to have a scenario where we pick up something that's a little bit more of a meaty, cooperative RPG experience, does really appeal. And I think Diablo also scratches that itch really well. It comes out with all the DLC that's come out for Diablo 3. Like Andrew said, the exclusive stuff. I also think it's interesting, this will get to my rumor, but that they're putting in like the Zelda references and Majora's Mask specifically. And I feel like we saw, you know, some of that back in the day when before we had like the Majora's Mask remake for 3DS, or there's always like little teases or things appearing in other formats before sometimes heading off a big reveal or game release. And I do wonder if some of that might feed into it in any way, shape, or form. Renewed focus on Majora's Mask in time for Skull Kid. We'll talk about him in a moment. Yeah. But you know, less likely that Sakurai or whomever would share it with Blizzard. But in any event, I think it's the first partnership Nintendo has with Blizzard in like 15 years, or since StarCraft was. You know, we had StarCraft was a ghost, never came out on the GameCube. It was like long rumored, eventually canceled. There was I think it said Star Fox maybe, but StarCraft, and also StarCraft had come out on the N64 and had like kind of an infamous port of that game. So it's exciting to see it on Switch. And do you suspect you'll pick it up?
Yeah, probably. But actually, you know what? I don't know. I own the PS4 port, and I've hardly put any time into that one, so I feel a little obligated to just stick with that one, which has better graphics, to be honest. But
it does. But the portability you know,
is
that's the whole thing they talk
it's
about.
very nice.
Yeah,
I am a little worried.
They say like make mundane experiences.
There's a lot.
You know, exciting.
There's a lot
again.
of effects that happen in that game, like attacks and stuff, and so I can definitely see this Switch sort of slowing down at times when you've got like mobs of enemies attacking you, and
I
don't know, if it slows down my computer, I could totally see it slowing down a Switch.
For sure. It'll be interesting to see how fixed is it at 30. Or I'm sorry, at
Austin,
60.
what's your rumor or story?
Okay, here's my rumor. Here's our final story of the night. We're talking about something that Game Explain put together for us. I'm going to kind of go over some of the points here, and I want to get your boys' takes. I've already sent you the article, but basically, some rumors back to Smash Bros. We can never get too far away from it. 4 characters specifically that they believe are being leaked, or at least heavily hinted at, not quite leaked. And the other little bonus to that is a post that's on Reddit. People should check it out by Clara and Sweet is the Redditor who posted this, and they have like a very funny long JPEG that's kind of like conspiracy theory about these characters. But basically, it runs down a little bit of a vertical timeline on the Switch announcements for Smash Bros. Characters. Now, we talked last week a little bit about the chairs. In the last Direct, Sakurai had the purple and yellow chair in the background. A lot of us immediately thought, well, maybe Waluigi. But upon further consideration, it seems like people are putting together not just the chairs, but there's a plant, some plant life behind Sakurai, as well as 2 patterned throw pillows and a green sofa that are over his right shoulder. And is it conspiracy theory? Well, you know what? You tell me. Can jet fuel melt the steel beams? Because what you have there is Tattle and Tail, looks like, which are the 2 Navi-ish characters from Majora's Mask, the 2 fairies, match color of the chairs. The throw pillow design looks like that of the Skull Kid, as well does the plant behind him, and it's similar to in a previous
plant
Direct.
Looks like Skull Kid.
It looks like, yes, because Skull Kid. Well, you'll have to see it to believe it. But Skull Kid has, if you look at his outfit, he has like what looks like. Kind of blades of like green kind of bamboo that make up his skirt. Honestly, check it out. You'll be convinced. You will see the light. Wake up and read the sign, sheeple. It's time to understand it, because previously in a different Direct, people did not notice this, but Sakurai, in the background, he had a ladder, a barrel, and another plant that people believe was hinting at Donkey Kong, infamous for throwing barrels. The ladder into the clubhouse that's featured in the video, and also the Direct had that plant, and alligators love those plants. But anyway, putting these things together. So Game Explain has collected these ideas, not exactly those, but into 4 characters. So the first of which is Skull Kid. Now this is why Skull Kid we think might happen. A, those signs, but B, he was an assist trophy back in Smash 4, I believe, but has not reappeared as an assist trophy. And as we know, the assist trophy, he's missing. He's MIA. His assist trophy, kiss of death as far as Smash reveals. Once you see a character assist trophy, they're not coming in. Sakurai was very vocal about this back in Smash 4 for Waluigi. Waluigi had an assist trophy, and he posted on the Miiverse like, sorry, he's an assist trophy, so get over it, nerds, basically. And that was like the death of Waluigi, or the death of this hopes that he would be in it as a playable character. And so far, we have not seen Skull Kid return, which is leading a lot of people to believe, hey, maybe this character,
that's still
this
a chance, right?
Playable.
Also, isn't the moon a assist trophy now?
It is, yeah.
Yes, it's also a stage hazard in a level, so it's going to be. Is it possible to get 2 moons on one level?
Yes.
That would be fantastic.
That would be amazing. And they just collide with one another, and then take everyone else out. So that's one thing. Skull Kid. What do we think? Yay or nay? Possible? Plausible?
Oh, totally possible. Especially since isn't young Link in the game? Like, it would make perfect sense if it was like they're doing the whole like
the Rivals
version of the I think that'd be perfect.
I love this Rivals. Okay, so let me get on a tangent for a second. The mode in Smash Ultimate that's being teased, right? A lot of people believe. Game Explained talked about it. Yep, it's from
Spirit
between.
Tracks.
Sorry, I don't know the general's name. Yeah, Spirit Tracks. All Spirit Tracks. We talked about that before. We believe that spirits might be a theme of maybe the single player mode, and if so, is it going to be something to do with like heroes maybe rising from the grave, like Luigi in that Castlevania, or Mario and Mega Man in the Ridley trailer? Something to do with some type of defeat and coming back. And there's such an emphasis on rivals, and I brought it up before. Now we have King K. Rool. We have Ridley now. We have Dark Samus now. Mm-hmm. Wolf is back. So those are some characters that have, somewhat been announced, but we have, of course, Bowser. We have Ganondorf. King Dedede, thank you. We have a growing Meta Knight, kind of anti-hero, somewhat good. We have Mewtwo, somewhat a villain from the Pokemon games. Like, we do have a bit of a growing cast of rivals. I would love to see them continue to really roll it out, because I have this now, the more and more I think about the Direct, I feel more and more confident about the number of characters we're still going to get. So part of that is like we had the first reveal. It was just Ridley and the Inklings, right? Between the first 2 reveals. It was like kind of slow burn. We figured it would just be a port somewhat of 4. Yeah. But now it just really feels like Daisy. And it feels like just the floodgates have opened, and you have just the possibilities feel endless because of all the characters announced in the last one.
Right.
Even Richter is a villain in Symphony of the Night, the most iconic Castlevania game. So it would be really awesome to see them continue to run with this theme, especially if it played into some type of cinematic. The best bit from Subspace Emissary was when they're all like on Meta Knight's airship and they're like flying at the enemy ship, and there's like all the space battle stuff happening, and I just love that. Or like in King K. Rool when he's like on all fours charging at Donkey Kong and they like meet in the sky with the boxing gloves, like those face-offs. That's all what Smash is about at the end of the day.
Right. So yeah, how many videos have we gotten now where that's been the case? We saw the Samus Ridley video. We saw the King K. Rool DK video. I guess we got the Castlevania video, but like those depicted like rivals facing off in a pretty cool way.
Right. Totally.
So I did want to mention this, that I do think that if Waluigi does actually end up being a character, I was thinking about this in the shower after our last podcast, which was what if there was a video of him kind of like watching this battle like from like the sideline. Basically, he's like he shows up and he's a Sistroph and he's like, screw this, like I've had enough. Like I actually want to fight, and he kind of breaks through this like, I don't know, digital wall that like separates him from actually joining the fight.
Like Roger Rabbit. He's like straight through.
He's like, he kind of climbs through, and then everyone's kind of like shocked that he's actually a character.
I love and hate that. You know what I actually would like to see?
I'm shaking my head, but I love it.
my heart says no, but the head says yes. I would say that like what I would like to see too is, what if would be an awesome video is like the assist trophy's thrown, it's Waluigi, right? And it's like, who threw it? And it pans over and it is again Waluigi. But it's Waluigi in like his tennis outfit, like Mario Tennis Aces.
He's got a rose in his mouth.
He's got a rose, and he's like the good little the hair going on and the visor. That would be a kind of a neat way of putting that character in and still having Assist Trophy, because of course we already have Mario and Dr. Mario. Like I feel like we have a million identical Fire Emblem characters, even though I love them. But it's like I feel like we've kind of opened the door.
Luigi needs his rival.
Hey, we talked about this too. I talked about this last time. Chrom, who he was an echo of, right? And we talked about the Echo Fighters, and Andrew, because his audio was cut because he and I disagreed, so we actually intentionally cut his audio, so it looked like I had the stronger argument. But like Chrom, his up recovery move is that of Ike's.
Really?
Right? It's like the Great Ether-ish
Ike?
jump. No, the rest of his moves are like Roy.
So then why are they calling him an Echo?
Like
I'm so confused on their definition of
an
an
Echo.
Echo.
Echo thing. I'm sorry?
Are you talking about Chrom?
Yeah.
I thought it was a Lucina Echo.
I think he's a Roy Echo, which is also a Marth Echo.
I'm pretty confused on their definition of an Echo fighter at this point.
Yeah, same. His up B, Matt, I'm pretty confident, is the spinning ether move. And they talk about this on Game Explain, but this is what I had talked about last time, where it looked like he had the Ike moveset, and I was confused. His up B is like the spinning sword jump recovery, not the Marth Lucina Roy, like just single straight slash up. He has like the spin and then hard fall down, which leaves him very vulnerable and has a kind of a bad recovery. Yeah. So then what's the deal? He's like he's like an echo of a different Echo and then another unique character?
Yeah, I guess so. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
I don't know what I'm calling the police on this one. Very strange. In any event, let me go through the last couple of characters. Okay, so we're saying yay or nay to, do we believe Skull Kid will be in it?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance.
Yeah, you saw the plant, so...
No, the plant tells all. The plant that also looked like King K. Rool or whatever.
Okay, well that one was dicier. I do wish I had seen that before I went on a whole full bore on the plant. But next up, okay, Sakurai on Twitter, he posted a picture, right? And it's framed in the same way. It has two characters. We have Link and we have Marth. And both of them, their backs to the camera, and facing them, the Rathalos. Now, what does that make you think of? Of course, Golden Sun for the Game Boy Advance.
Totally.
And the reason why that is because it is framed the same way that JRPG battle system looked, the over-the-shoulder turn-based combat. And there's a great screen comparison that looks honestly extremely similar. People have to check it out for themselves. But Isaac is another character who appeared not even in the last iteration, but in Brawl. He had that force push with his hand.
Right.
That was like how you moved everything with, because you had the telekinetic powers in that game. Did either of you play Golden Sun on the Game Boy Advance, 1 or 2?
No,
No.
you kept telling me
but
to.
I wanted to. Yeah.
Oh, so good. Now, the one on the DS, not good. Don't play that one. Everyone keeps talking about Golden Sun needs to make a return, but the last time we had it wasn't good. So everyone needs to be really wary of that. However, I would be totally down to have another character. Now, he's also like a sword user, so it's like, ugh. But if he had more kind of psi powers like Ness or Lucas, where he's doing more interesting things with his moves, or his force push thing was cool back in Brawl, and Brawl had more of those moves introduced that you might remember, like Pit Plump, where he'd, as a Pokemon, push people off the cliff but not hurt them necessarily, right? Or like, Andrew had a thing on, we did talk about this too, or like Mario with the Flood, right? Just pushes. I liked that idea where it was like just obstacles that don't necessarily throw you out of the ring
they're
because
just annoying.
you're impacted. Yeah, just annoying something to hurdle over. I like that. So, Andrew, do you have something you want to say?
I just realized there's probably going to be an Earthbound villain, right?
That would be cool. There could be Porky.
Or Starman. Is Starman a bad guy?
Yeah, he's a bad guy. You fight him.
They haven't announced him as an
one.
assist trophy yet, so.
That's also true. Starman would be good. It would be just awesome if every character could get a villain, right? Some type of rival. The villains are so fun, and most of these series have a few villains for each character, so you would think it wouldn't be that hard to reach
third parties? Are we getting Shadow?
Oh, God.
Shadow is for sure going to be in it. So he's not in this. I think they talked about him on Back in the Game Explained. Shadow the Hedgehog had an assist trophy in the last two games. It was the same as like the clock mechanic for like the time thing, so it was a little bit lame. He did chaos control. He's identical to Sonic, even canonically, of course, as we all know from Sonic Adventure 2, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube. He is really he's a clone more or less of Sonic, made in his image. The fastest character, of course, is a hedgehog.
Got it.
And so he'll be in it. And so then I think for sure. And
Can you go back to that explanation? I didn't finish my notes.
Well, Dr. Eggman, or Robotnik, as you know, he loves a good furry, and so he gives those
the Eggman song in that game was so good. It's the Eggman. He's got the master plan. Oh, that's what we're going to close out to in this podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's ever any doubt, even if we didn't invoke it, all things end in Eggman. Run from it, fear it.
Run from it.
Run from it.
Hit it, Andrew.
Dread it. Destiny still arrives.
Very good. Okay, so the last one is Isabelle. So Isabelle from Animal Crossing seems like an obvious Echo Fighter, obvious rival for the villager. Actually, speaking of rivals, they should have Tom Nook in there as an Echo character.
I want
brings the game to a halt. You should do a microtransaction. Oh yes, Red.
I want Red.
What is it? Red. Crazy Red. And he like sells you all the knockoff Mona Lisas or whatever.
He would actually be a fun assist trophy, but
yeah, that would be a fun one. I love the idea of another Animal Crossing character that's a major property for Nintendo. It's underrepresented in Smash, and she has not reappeared as an assist trophy like she was back in Smash 4, so that would be an obvious, easy one too, and that'd be cool to see. Plus, she's represented in the same way that the villager is represented in Mario Kart. So there's already a bit of a parity between the two.
Yeah.
She'd make for a great Echo. So those are the rumors. Do we feel like all four of them take it to the bank?
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah, I feel like there's just such a good chance, specifically because they specifically are leaving out all these characters that were assist trophies. You know, like, and you just all the characters that you would think, oh, maybe one day they'll get in, and still we've seen so much of Smash, and they've been strategically left out. So
it really does doubly doom Waluigi.
Yeah, it definitely would, unless my prediction about his video comes true, where he's like, "What do you mean all these assist trophies are coming? Like, and I'm still here? Nah, screw this. I'm breaking through." Nah, that would be great.
Because looking at it, let's do this really fast if you'll humor me. I'm looking on the Smash Bros. Website. Let's just talk about who we'd like to see as a rival for each character. Right?
Okay.
For the ones that already have one. Mario and friends, obviously Bowser. King K. Rool for Donkey Kong. Link is Ganondorf. Anyone else we want to throw in there in the Zelda ring we'd like to see as a rival on the theme of rivals? Team of rivals.
Zant, maybe. That'd be cool. Remember Zant?
Zant would be cool from Twilight Princess.
Yeah. What's that? Is that the name? What was the guy's name from A Link Between Worlds? I would love to see a Link Between Worlds mechanic where, I don't know, even the character would be kind of a fun character. Just in the way he it would dodge and I don't know, go into a wall or something.
That would be cool to go into the 2D.
But who is the villain from Skyward Sword? He seemed very...
Girahim, but
he's an assist trophy, right?
I think he's confirmed for an assist trophy again, yeah.
Anyway, so we've got Zelda then.
Okay, we're pretty good on Samus and Dark Samus and Ridley. Samus is the one example of having more enemies than good characters, because there isn't really another hero character,
right?
For the most
Unless
part.
They brought out the what's the squad that what was the last game?
Oh no,
the little mechs,
the Federation Force.
Federation Force. Get one of those guys out there.
People would love it, and it's like the chibi with a big head and little body. That would be like the desperate
just
attempt
kick soccer balls. Yeah.
Okay, Yoshi.
Yoshi, yeah, you're just obstacles are the
Shy
enemy.
Guy, maybe. Shy Guy.
Yeah. Shy Guy would be fun.
Baby Bowser, not Bowser Jr. Mind you, check
they
your lore.
Wouldn't confuse people with that.
What about Kamek?
What about who?
The
Kamek,
wizard bird man.
The wizard gal. I assume it's
cool.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think they just might kind of like couple Yoshi into the Mario universe.
Birdo?
Oh, Birdo
Birdo's
would
a
make
rival.
sense. Oh, that would make a lot of sense. She's been an assist trophy, hasn't she? And not announced yet.
An unconfirmed.
No. Oh yeah, she was. You're right. It was like the 8-bit version from Super Mario Bros. 2. Good point. Kirby, we're set. Fox, we have Wolf.
It'd be cool to get another Fox character though.
A villain,
so
yeah.
cool. Who do we like most?
Oh, it's definitely going to be Leon, the chameleon. Leon.
What was the Panther's name?
Andros ordered us to take you down.
I know. I love any of them, or like even Pigma or whatever.
Pigma would be fun.
I killed your dad, Fox.
Cocky little freaks.
and I talk like Peppy, like old Peppy. Yeah, that would be good. I like to see that too. Andros, too big, but we don't have a representation of modern day Andros in it. What about Back to Adventure? Where's our general?
Where's Tricky? I want Tricky assist trophy.
General Scar or
right?
Claw. It's Claw.
Scar?
It's Claw or Scar.
I don't know.
Either one.
No, General Scar.
Because he has both a scar and a claw.
From Cape Claw.
I get it right. Somebody look at what the name of
that
that dang hard, that real tough final boss. You put up a real mean fight.
It was like a quick time boss, but like.
Remember that fake out? You like go to fight him, and he's like, "Oh," and Andros is like, "It was me the whole time. I was that statue." But Andros is not in the game except for his SNES appearance, so that would be. He's way too big, but it'd be cool to see him in some other form.
Right.
Okay, Pokemon. Any other?
I'd like to see
Why can't you play as rival?
Yeah.
Or red or blue or whatever
with
their
like
name
a
is.
lowland Pokemon or something, or it's General Claw. That's his name.
Or Team Rocket. That'd be kind of cool if you had like the Team Rocket Pokemon character set.
Ooh,
that would be cool. It's just like the worst
coughing,
combo. It's
and
coughing in the mouth, and you're switching between all three. And you're like,
Wobbuffet. That'd be the worst Pokemon to play with.
It would be cool though to see like rival trainer, and have it be
like another
because
starter
Eevee
Pokemon
would be even to incorporate some. That'd be a little tough with just 3 if you use Eevee, but not if you do the the 3 main evolutions. But it'd be kind of cool tie into Let's Go. I don't know how they'd swing it though, but it would be cool to see a rival or Giovanni.
Oh yeah.
Who's got like Rhydon or
Giovanni would be great.
Queen.
I think if it's gonna be anyone, it would be the rival, and it would be second or third generation starters. But I don't know, that would be cool. So who's next though?
Okay, Ness. We could do the Porky character, and I believe that's his name. I'm sorry for forgetting. I did beat Earthbound and Mother 3, so I'm a real fan, but I can't remember his name. He's the main villain. He's just another young kind of schoolyard-ish kid, but he's like has these big mechs and whatnot. He does appear instead of his emissary and like the spider-like mech.
Our listeners probably know who you're talking about.
He would, yeah, for sure. My mother, for sure. He would not be an Echo Fighter of Ness, though. He doesn't have psychic power, so I don't know how he'd do that. Captain Falcon, it'd be cool to have this one of the other racers.
Yeah. I'm surprised we still only have one.
Right. He's still very by himself, and I would love it as a way to kickstart a new.
I know, right?
F-Zero. Otherwise, a lot of these other characters that I'm encountering now are just other people in the same series. Fire Emblem, we don't really have a villain. It would be neat, though, if I do anticipate we're gonna get some Three Houses content in the same way that we got Corrin, male and female, as a Fire Emblem Fates tease.
I just don't want any Fire Emblem anymore. It's just like be done with it. Make one like.
But what if they just weren't sword users? That's the thing. It's like if they had Hector with the axe, or a character that's like a soldier or something, or I'm sorry, but like a cavalier that had a mount or something, or a lance character, like, or even an archer character, like a Pegasus Knight. There's so many interesting classes.
Huge knight and a bunch of armor. Just get like a tank character and.
Can't even move more than one square around.
Let's get Nightmare in the game from Soul Calibur.
You know what though? Actually, I'm sure we'll get a character like that because Bandai Namco, and there's no characters like that in their co-developing the game. I wouldn't be surprised if we got what is his name? Hayachi, the character from Tekken.
Oh, Yoshimitsu.
No, well, I don't know. He might be in Tekken 2, but this is the Tekken character, not the Soul Calibur character. Right. But just someone who's like a Bandai Namco fighter. I'm surprised we haven't gotten that yet. Especially back like Matt, if Rayman's,
Rayman will be in this game.
Rayman, as you talked about. Yeah, we have plus Rabbids.
Rabbids will be his final Smash.
It should just be like an epic Ubisoft
and like that would be a more modern
Smash. Just like show all these characters in the cutscene.
I agree. We've picked Dark Pit. That's a villain there. Wario, it'd be cool to have Ashley
That'd be fun.
as a WarioWare character. She's, villainous appearing. She's spooky. It would be great. Shadow, we've already talked about. I don't know that you need another Pikmin character. Hard to get a villain for Rob or Game & Watch. Mega Man, Proto Man is in his final Smash, so I kind of don't think it's going to happen, but it would be neat to have another character, or and we know Zero is going to be an assist trophy. In any event, there are a lot of Elec Man though, who was an assist trophy in the last game, has not appeared. Not like a major Mega Man villain by any means, but it'd be cool to have like a robot master that then like Pokemon Trainer swapped out or swapped between three.
Cool.
Little Mac, there's so many great racially insensitive villains to punch out. Pac-Man already has the ghosts. We don't need them. Ryu to have Akuma. I'm sure we'll have Ken as an Echo. That seems like so obvious. He is the iconic Echo character. Final Fantasy with Cloud, very cool to have Sephiroth. That'd be great too. Bayonetta, I'm sure we'll have Jean, who's like the red, like is a friend but is also truly a rival she's competitive with, as far as another one of the Umbran witches and Lumen sages, which is the plot of those games, yada yada. But I'm sure she'll be an Echo. She looks similar to Bayonetta in many respects, but is wearing red. Right there, it wouldn't even take that many characters, and you'd have at least a villain represented for most series. Anything we can think about for the
Octolings?
Who would be good?
Octoling, yeah.
But just like a generic Octoling?
Just the,
would it be the one I guess, from the DLC?
For sure.
Yeah. And it makes sense. I mean, Octolings have been a thing for a long enough time, right? I mean, you knew who the Octolings were years ago, so that'd be great. I think prior to like this whole idea of like villains, I was assuming that an Octoling would make an appearance, at least as an Echo character. So,
yeah, it would just be such a great way to close it up. The podcast. Thanks for letting me rant for so long, but like to have a thing in with Spirits, where it's like a structured story mode, where you have a really cool cinematic like the two we've already seen, that then segues into like even if it's just like a simple one-on-one battle.
Mutilated.
We're just devastated. What's going to happen to poor Peach? She better be careful. I would keep a royal guard around, get Toadsworth around, and make sure she stays safe.
Is Luigi going to get the poltergeist in this game?
Oh, the poltergust. Well,
he was using it in the in that little video, but yeah, I guess they haven't.
Yes, and Game Explain talked about the fact that it's actually a new version of the poltergust in that video. So is that a sign of something else?
What do you mean a new version? Like it's the
Luigi's Mansion?
It's like a little bit of an updated design.
Luigi's Mansion 3DS version, or just an update? You said just an updated design.
Totally new.
I hope
totally
so.
New.
Oh my god, Luigi's Mansion on. Maybe that'll be a fun October release.
Did you play Dark Moon on 3DS?
I just loved it was so many rooms, so many things to explore.
So polished. In the same way that like Captain Toad feels like this tiny little dollhouse effect, only more so for Luigi's Mansion.
I would welcome that. But that's cool. I have a lot of Game Explain videos to watch post podcast.
I know their content is very good, so definitely check them out because they were an inspiration.
And then spam our podcast all over their comments. Just kidding.
and then just make sure we're up here and they say, hey, I found your podcast because I found it through ANP.
All right, so any other final thoughts, Andrew, Austin, on anything that we chatted about today? Fun rumors, fun things to talk about.
Excited to play some more Dead Cells.
Yeah. I know. I'll let you know what decision I make next week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so next week who knows what we'll have to talk about. Stay tuned and you'll find out. So thanks for joining us for another Nintendo podcast. And by this point, you should be hearing us rock out to a little Eggman. All right, bye everybody. I